Hey guys, it's Chance. So we talked about on Facebook how we were going to go in more depth about things. So we're going to go in depth on what is CrossFit. So most of you might know what CrossFit is, most of you don't. So we're just going to kind of go into some things and then we'll kind of dive in more to them as we go on. So what is CrossFit? Basically, if we want to look at it in terms of what is fitness and how do we get the fittest, right? We're gonna kind of go over all these things, but the biggest thing is these are the 10 general physical skills. So probably in one of the videos to come after, we'll kind of go over them. But basically, right, cardiovascular or respiratory endurance. Second one is stamina, third is strength, fourth is flexibility, fifth is power, six is speed, seven is coordination, eight is agility, nine is balance, 10 is accuracy. So they say that you're only as fit as you are good at all of these things, right? So if you're a person who's very strong, but you're slow, then we need to improve on being faster, right? So the goal is to be good at all these things. You need to look, as far as improving your fitness, which one of these things do you struggle with the most and which one do you need to work on, right? If some of you are stiff, then maybe getting a little bit more mobility, but we'll dive into this more later on, but that's kind of what they are deeming as fit. So games athletes are good at all of these things, and that's why they're games athletes. But as far as getting into more of like the everyday, what is CrossFit? So CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements at a high intensity across broad times and modal domains. So let's kind of get into constantly varied. So what is constantly varied? Workouts are different all the time, right? The movements are different. So as far as here, these are kind of the three movement patterns we kind of go into. So weightlifting would be anything that has weight. So that could be anything with a barbell, that could be kettlebells, that could be wall balls, right? Anything that's weight bearing. Gymnastics is obviously anything that's moving your body in space. So pull-ups and handstand push-ups and handstand walking and pistols, stuff like that. And then monostructural will be anything that kind of, I guess you can deem it cardio. So rowing, biking, jump roping, running, swimming, ski erging, right? All those kind of things are kind of monostructural. So those are basically the three kind of components of what we do as far as movement wise. And we just constantly vary them daily, whether that means we're constantly varying the time frames, we're constantly varying the rep schemes, we're constantly varying the movements, all that kind of stuff. The next one is functional movements. So functional movements is just movements that you do every day, right? So a deadlift could be literally picking something up off the ground, whether it's a pencil, whether it's dog food, whatever. Squatting could be literally sitting up off of the toilet, right? A push press could be putting something up on the overhead bin or whatever the case may be. High intensity. So there's kind of three kind of components as far as they go to high intensity. Mechanics, consistency, and then intensity, and we'll dive into that more. But mechanics is just doing movements well. Consistency is doing that over and over again, and intensity is adding speed. So what is intensity? Intensity basically is power, right? And power equals force times distance divided by time. So basically what it's saying here is if we look at intensity, and we look at a movement, let's say we take Fran, for example, which is what we did today. So we know what the movements are. They always will stay the same, right? We know the force, because force is the weight, right? The distance would be the weight of how long the thruster takes, and then the time is how fast it takes you to do it, right? So if we use a workout like this, the workout is always the same. Fran will always be 21:59 of thrusters and pull-ups. So if we do this Fran workout and then in 3 months we do it again and we get faster, our intensity got higher because we created more power because we did it faster, right? So those are kind of some things to think of. As far as broad times and modal domains, we kind of talked about it, but kind of time frames, right? Short, medium, and long. These are kind of the three pathways of the energy systems, I guess you can call it. And we'll dive into these more, but phosphagen would be like a sprint. And basically these are like heavy lifts, right? And maybe like 100-meter sprints, stuff like that. Glycolytic is more mid-distance, so that would be like your I guess you could call it your Frans or your 5-minute workouts. And then oxidative is kind of longer. Those are those 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 20-minute workouts. So those are kind of the pathways. But those are the broad times, right? The times change, whether that's in intervals, I have rest in there, all that stuff. And then modal domains, we don't really do it much, but back in the olden days, right, those would be like, sometimes you do it in a gym, sometimes you go outside and do it, sometimes you're carrying stuff up a dirt hill, hiking to the end would be something like that. So we just kind of try to mix it up. This is the hierarchy of basically our fitness and what it kind of talks about. We'll dive into this more, but it's just basically saying your pyramid, right? Nutrition is the most important part of the pyramid. Once nutrition is dived in, then we worry about conditioning. Once conditioning is dived in, then we worry about gymnastics. Once that's in, then we worry about weightlifting, throwing, and then at the top of it is sports. So basically your most important thing is nutrition. So if nutrition isn't good, then we'll work on it. But we'll dive into that more as time goes on. And then the last thing that's basically what CrossFit is the scalability, right? Meaning that anyone could come in and do it. Grandma and the Olympic athlete, right? They may not be in the same workout, maybe doing the same workout, but they both need to squat, right? They both need to get squat. One may be squatting 400 pounds, one may be literally squatting so they can actually sit up off of the toilet, but they both need to be squatting, right? Deadlifting, the weightlifter may be, or the Olympic athlete may be deadlifting lots and lots of weight to help with snatches and cleans, but grandma needs to deadlift. Why? Because in case she drops her groceries, she's able to pick them up so she can stay out of the nursing home, right? So those are just kind of what CrossFit is. And we'll dive into these kind of different things as we go along. We just wanted to give you like a broad spectrum of what is CrossFit, what is fitness. If you have any questions, let us know. If you want to dive into certain things, let us know. And that's it.